We've had some big scoops here on the WDW Pro Channel. You all probably know that. From Harry Potter being rebooted to the Nintendo Cinematic Universe and so much more. But perhaps this is on par with some of the biggest scoops we've had. It's probably bigger than when we told you that Daisy Ridley was returning to Star Wars. So what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about a plan that seems to now be confirmed that Disney is going to dramatically change the Magic Kingdom. Hello folks, welcome back to the place where we explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve, and all we ask in return is, well, if you would be so kind to click that like button, sit back and enjoy. Today we are going to Walt Disney World, and we are going to be talking about a huge change that could be coming. Turbocharged, you say? Well, it's on the way. How long it would take to do this could be a very, very long time. This is no small project we're discussing. Braden of Mickey Views had originally told the whole world on his website and on his YouTube channel about what he was hearing, about what could be the destruction of Frontierland, followed up by Radiator Springs and a Woody ride coming to the Magic Kingdom behind Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Now we have an image that seems to confirm at least a huge part of what Braden is reporting, and we'd like to share it with you right now. Here's the story. Exclusive. Radiator Springs Racers is coming to Magic Kingdom. That rumor appears to be confirmed. Now, this is a much bigger deal than what it might first seem like, so let us explain why in just a moment. Disney Parks has become known in the last few years for a frenetic tendency to throw varieties of intellectual properties together in strange ways. Putting the Cars franchise next to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Magic Kingdom is just the latest example. Last week, we covered the story that Braden of Mickey Views was reporting about changes coming to Magic Kingdom. According to Braden, Disney is looking to destroy Tom Sawyer Island, Rivers of America, transform Frontierland into a bayou, and plop a southwestern theme behind Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. But that's not all. Braden also said that Disney was interested in building Radiator Springs Racers north of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and that is a very expensive attraction. One of the most expensive, by the way, that they could possibly put there. And also one with significant downtime. It doesn't do well in the rain. It would also stick out badly next to an era-centric Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, yet that's exactly what he claimed. And while I, Pro, love Radiator Springs Racers, I'm not sure it's a great fit for the location they're putting it in. You could put it in Hollywood Studios, although it would be difficult with much more success.
Pro, sorry to interrupt, but they originally, that back corner of the Studios Park,
Lights Motors Action was?
Yeah, that's where that was. Radiator Springs was supposed to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so when they shifted the direction and location of where they were putting things and locked themselves in place with Galaxy's Edge, they took away the real estate that would have been made for an expanded Pixar area and in Florida. So this is foolish from the word go. And I think sightlines alone are going to just get absolutely demolished here.
And that's my thing with regard to the sorry, Alan. That's my thing with regard to the sight lines. If you've ever seen my live streams where we go over to where Big Thunder Mountain is and we go over to where Tom Sawyer Island is, that landscaping and sight lines are very, very deliberate. So I can't see the appeal of dropping in this desert themed attraction, basically destroying the sight lines over there. It just doesn't look right.
So to explain to folks out there why this is such a big deal, and Alan, I'd like to get your thoughts.
Yeah.
And we're going to show folks in just a moment what has been sent to us as the alleged proof. Braden is not just claiming that he has this scoop about Radiator Springs Racers. It's tied in with a vast change coming to Magic Kingdom, which would be to destroy the Rivers of America, maybe keep enough of the water there that the Liberty Bell could sit docked, maybe, destroy Tom Sawyer Island, and so much more. Getting rid of Frontierland, for example, which is one of Walt's original visions for the park. So we're about to show you the proof that we think shows that Braden's exactly right. Before we do, Alan, you had a thought, and we'd like to hear it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, doesn't this ride exist already at Epcot?
So this ride already exists in California Adventure. The ride mechanics essentially exists exactly in Test Track at Epcot. So this would be somewhat of a duplication, although Test Track is a far inferior product to Radiator Springs Racers, even if the mechanics are the same.
Yeah, it just seems redundant, but yeah, I'm not surprised.
I'm with you. I love the ride, but I don't know that this is a good idea.
It's another Lasseter era production that has been pulled into current day in order to save the Walt Disney Company. Of course, Moana being one of those as well.
Sure. And what we have seen in Epcot, by the way, is just a giant mess. It's just throwing intellectual properties in bizarre ways, right? Mm-hmm. Why would you take Moana, the most popular princess franchise Disney owns, and turn it into a very small splash pad attraction situated in the middle of otherwise concrete walkways at Epcot? It's so weird. It's so
even weirder. Why would you create something like Cosmic Rewind?
Yeah.
Why would you drop that IP in there when we already have, Mission Space? What edutainment does that bring to Epcot? They got rid of, Ellen's Energy Adventure. Yes, as cheesy as it was, I freaking loved it, but it had that message of energy conservation and, finding new sources of energy. So now we have basically Space Mountain with the software upgrade and a big, ugly blue building that sticks out. You can see it from wherever you are in Epcot instead. Makes zero sense.
All right, well, let's get to the proof, and let's see if Pro is bringing the proof to the stage right now. Here's the original quote by Mickey Views. Of course, that's synonymous essentially with Braden. And by the way, folks, we really like Braden's work on YouTube. Out of all of those who cover the Disney parks in that particular way with the setup and the stage and the backdrop and all of that, I think Braden does just a phenomenal job. And so huge kudos to him.
Great.
Especially considering we think he's got this right, and it's one of the biggest scoops you could get. We wish we had it first. Sources of Mickey Views claim a Western Woody, that's Woody the cowboy, themed attraction is under consideration for the Beyond Big Thunder project at Magic Kingdom inside Walt Disney World. This project would join the rumored Radiator Springs Racers project along with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in order to form a desert-themed land in the northwest quadrant of the park. We said the claim seemed outlandish, but now we essentially have it confirmed. No, we can never be certain because Disney could change its mind before it begins building it. However, we now have an image out of Walt Disney Imagineering that we're sharing with you in this article, and that image shows a 3D printed Radiator Springs Racers, which is not identical to the one in California Adventure. So lest anybody out there think that, oh, well, it's just a miniature from the one in California. It's just from Anaheim. No big deal. This does not match up with that one. And this is taken recently. So it would seem that Braden's very much right. Folks, here is the image. It is a little difficult to see. It is a little bit blurry because it's out of focus. We have circled it with the most professional tool possible.
Was it Canva with Affinity attached to it?
They're now a sponsor of the show. Not really, but we've circled it. This seems to confirm what Braden has been reporting. This is a miniature model of Radiator Springs Racers, and all in white, of course. We're not sure what the other buildings are or what they represent. We would need more context to figure that out. But this was taken from inside Walt Disney Imagineering and provided to us, and does in fact seem to confirm at least a huge part of what Braden has been reporting. And that, I think, lends credence now that Braden may be onto it. Disney may be planning to destroy Frontierland, destroy Tom Sawyer Island, destroy Rivers of America, and put in a 14-acre expansion that's a whole bunch of Pixar IPs tossed together behind Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So, panel, that's some major news. What do you guys think of it?
I just need to point out that this is a ride that exists already at Walt Disney Imagineering, and they're spending $6 billion to, quote unquote, increase capacity. There was an interview with Josh D'Amaro, because Josh D'Amaro is now officially on a press tour trying to make his campaign for the CEO position at the company, whether or not that's official. But here's one from Fast Company. The genesis for that unprecedented investment came in part from a 2023 meeting with Iger. That would be the $60 billion. I love this phrase, and it is classic Iger, but it's coming out of DeMaro's mouth. About a year ago, DeMaro said, I found myself in Bob's office, and we were talking about the last 100 years and everything that had happened in our products around the world. And we talked about, get this, the number of stories we hadn't been able to tell yet and the number of acres we have available. That seems like that's just a euphemism for the number of attractions that they haven't been able to copy and paste into different parks. Oh, and by the way, and Bob looked at me and said,
"Oh, Lord,
go."
And he wiped his nose off and left.
Yes. And the heavens opened up and angels sang. And this is the hubris of culture. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
you.
go, please.
This is the hubris of the Disney company, forgetting what it is that made the Disney company what it is, what made their park so timeless. I mean, Walt always says, we always keep moving forward, but at the same time, the spirit of the park was kept. So you're talking about pulling out an iconic space in Walt Disney World to drop yet another IP in because you feel these quote unquote stories haven't been told yet. It's yet another example of Disney crapping on their past and just going for the IP that they think is new, is hip, that everyone wants to see. And they're forgetting one of the major reasons that people come to the Disney parks, why people bring their kids, why people bring their grandkids, why people have family reunions there, are because of places like Frontierland, where it's pretty much the same with maybe a little bit of update, but the whole thing is still there. It's like generational knowledge and it's reverence for the history. And honestly, and let's put it out there, okay? Frontierland and Tom Sawyer Island, that is basically the crux of Americana.
Oh,
the
yeah.
absolute crux of Americana. So what you're saying is the Americana that Walt loved, the Americana that Walt wanted to celebrate, the very Americana that people around the world know, that's not good enough for you anymore. And you want to basically get rid of that. So basically, I'm sorry, you're just wiping your ass with the American flag right now. And I don't appreciate that.
I'll agree. And by the way, the Wall Street Journal agrees with your assessment here. I'm gonna, or I should say, a quote from the Wall Street Journal. I'm gonna steal your screen again to point this one out. The Wall Street Journal talking about the threat in Disney's backyard. Robbie Whelan from WSJ, one of our favorite contributors over there. Devising a new theme park attraction has historically been a multi-year process, says Eddie Sato, otherwise known, I think his tag is Boss Angeles on Twitter, former Imagineer, member of the company's elite team of theme park designers. It's very difficult to take an intellectual property or movie and say, well, this movie just suddenly became a surprise hit, and now this ride needs to be there tomorrow, Sato said. It's an excellent statement on the predicament they find themselves in. And again, going to that $60 billion in investment, Iger has said it's a good thing that they haven't allocated this to any specific part of the company because we might have another Frozen on our hands. I think that would be so foolish for them within the next 5 years to say, no, we need to build an entire land based on an untested attraction that may not last for more than a few years. I would say that right now, Frozen is not Disney's most popular attraction. Speaks to the reversal of Moana is the company's most popular princess brand right now, most popular animated brand right now, and they've got Frozen lands popping up in several different locations.
Folks, that is the end of today's video, and we hope you had a dandy of a time. It's always a pleasure to bring you the news, and, well, it's time now for you to weigh in. Do you agree or disagree with our assessment that while Radiator Springs is an awesome ride, it might not be the awesome ride for where they're planning to put it? You let us know down in the comments whether you agree or disagree with that. Like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. And don't forget, folks, due to the incredible generosity of our guests, our viewers, our members, our subscribers yesterday on the Pro Show, we're doing a special edition of the Pro Show coming up in, well, about 8 days. April 25th, a special edition. We'd love to have you there as our special guest. Get ready. Great show, 5 p.m. Eastern that day. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.